Alright everybody, and welcome to 2016's G1 tournament. I know I'm running a little bit late on getting this first one up, and I'll probably not be able to get them all up exactly, like a day after necessarily, but I'm going to do my best to get English commentary up for every single one of these. I was going to do it for the Super J tournament, the Super Junior tournament, and it just got away from me, and I wasn't able to keep up with it, so I kind of scrapped it because it just got to the point that, I'm never going to get this done. So we're waiting for Ishii to come out here, Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii or Ishii, I've heard it pronounced both ways, and everything in between, so just Ishii. So our first match here is going to be Ishii versus Tenzan. Ishii versus Tenzan. And here comes Ishii now. The Stone Pitbull himself. Strong, tough-ass dude. In Tomohiro Ishii. Alrighty. So my plans to do this, I will try to do full show commentary when possible. Otherwise, I'll just be doing commentary for the actual tournament matches. But that just depends on what I'm able to do. The big problem for me is just the time of year. It's summertime, so it's kind of hard to work on stuff during the day because it just gets hot in here. So I have to find time to do all this, so, you do what you have to, you do what you can. And here comes Tenzan. Let me get my cheat sheet out here. I've got my little, I wrote down the blocks for the tournament so I could keep up on my own without having to refer to an online list or something. I also have, and there is Kojima showing support. The story, as I understand it, is that Kojima was originally going to be in the tournament, but he actually, along with Ricochet and Seidel, won the six-man Never Openweight Championship belt, so I think it was because of that he decided to go ahead and let Tenzan have one more shot at the G1 tournament. Because getting a little bit older, probably not going to have too many more of these in him. Tournaments like this are pretty grueling schedule. Because you've got a lot of shows to fill in about a month. It's not quite a month. It's from the 18th to the 14th, so just a little under a month. But in that time, it's a lot of shows to fill, and even one-on-one matches pretty grueling, and still have to do all the tag matches and everything for openers too, so it's a pretty hectic schedule they have to put up with for these tournaments. So we've got a bit of tie up here, goes for the Mongolian chop but does not hit it, gets chopped, old school chop, regular chop, knocking shoulders there, a nice little boot, and the chop is blocked. Ha ha ha. Tenzan drops Ishii. Tenzan old house. That's Haas, not house. Built like a brick. Haas. Ha ha ha. One of the... Is it the second generation of NJPW stars, I think is what they call themselves, or second or third. Ooh, A little high on that one. Trading chops and forearms there. And the pit bull gets chopped down. Mongolian chop. There's a couple of really strong, tough guys here. It's been interesting to see how the older stars here have been kind of having to pick up their game after NJPW lost some talent to that other promotion here in the States. Well, I'm in the States. If you're not, hello to wherever you are. But Tenzon pulling out some moves he hasn't used for a long time, at least not that I know of. I started watching him during last year's G1 tournament, so I can't claim to be a long-time fan of the promotion. But just, it seems like they've been kind of picking things up and, stepping their game up a bit. Because, sometimes you just have to do that when duty calls, as it were. Alrighty, so chop, chop, chop. Yeah, I'd like to see Honky Tonk Man take one of those chops and call it a bitch move. I saw him say some stuff about that not that long ago. An interview, he called the chop a bitch move, slapping somebody in the chest, and like, yeah. And we got the stall and nice suplex. Perfect execution. It's one of the things I love about NJPW is you get some fancy stuff, but they also just are really clean on their execution. Even the classic moves, very clean for the most part. Sometimes somebody gets a little sloppy, but that's life. Uh-oh. Is she getting a little disrespectful there? Tenzon ain't gonna like that. Oh. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Sticking those forearms, not going down. It's going to take a lot more than that to really put Tenzon away. Oh. Mongolian chop and a nice side kick. This is what you gotta kind of love about Tenzon, is that he's not all that fast. He obviously has knee problems. But he makes the best of what he's got. Doesn't bitch, moan, and complain, at least not that I know of. Just goes out and puts on the best show he can. You gotta respect it. Ooh! Mongolian chop to the back. Ow. Sizing him up. Short run to a clothesline there. Got a little speed on it, too. Little boot down in the corner. Let him go, ref. And I'll try to say things to help you keep this synced up. Another clothesline in the corner there. Prepping him for suplex and up and down. Bit of a brain buster variant there. Not a full brain buster, but did kind of drop him. 1, 2, and kicks out. So I was kind of hoping that they'd go big this year on the tournament, like 12 men in a block, just to kind of give a great big FU to that American company, just to show everyone that, we're going to get through this. It's not going to kill us. It's just going to make us stronger. Nice release slam there, but Tenzon back up, and that over the shoulders drop that he likes to use. Double clothesline, two big guys connecting. Oh, Ishii hit that chop hard. He looked like he might have gone a little high on that. He has a habit of doing that when he starts getting in trouble. He's not really in for much of a cheater or anything, but sometimes when he starts getting in trouble, he will get a little bit, shall we say, into the gray areas. Which is to say, he'll do shit that is explicitly a no-no, but could be called an accident, chopping somebody in the throat. And just beating the crap out of him in the corner. Runs in and nails him again with another clothesline. Damn. Tenzon definitely showing signs of fatigue here. Not looking good for the big man. Gotta say, I'm kind of rooting for Tenzon here. I don't expect him to win the tournament, but I'd like to see him do well. This, again, it's just the whole thing about respect. I respect people that love what they do and give things their all, and it's obvious every time Tenzon goes out there, especially lately, when it's, the company needed him and the other older superstars to step up their game and kind of fill that gap with the talent that got poached. And they've answered the call, and, I respect that. Like I said. Getting him up, looking for a superplex here from the middle rope. Tenzon's fighting him. Is he going to hit it? Tenzon trying to get out of it. Is he going to be able to? Ooh. Ishii laying in some more blows. Oh, nasty headbutt. Tenzon firing back with some chops. Can't really get it all there, but enough to chop Ishii down. Looks like he's maybe going for a flip. Ooh. Not sure what he's looking for here. Oh, interesting. Kind of an overcastle neck breaker from the second rope there. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody quite do that before. Like I said, seeing the older guys pulling out some stuff that they may not have done for a long time, may not have ever done before at all. Been, I guess if there's any good thing that came out of the poaching that happened is we're getting to see some interesting things happen. Mix things up. Only a 2 count. A couple of nice headbutts there. Looks like he might have bit his tongue or something. Looks like going for that, the clutch. Yeah, he's got it in. This is a move he likes to use as a finisher. He's got it in pretty solid there. Gonna pick him up and try and slam him down. And nails him. Got 1, 2. I could not see the ref there, obviously. He is bleeding from the mouth a bit there. Tenzon is. Come on, big man. Oh, he's going for the moonsault. Is Ishii gonna stay down? Nope. Looks like he's gonna go for a power bomb. Tenzon trying to fight out of it, but big power bomb there, but Ishii cannot capitalize. Whoever gets up to their feet first now, I think, is gonna have a serious advantage here. Ishii trying to catch his breath. Definitely a struggle going on here. Let's see how things resolve. Both up, fighting on again. Oh! Nasty headbutt to the chest. Looked like he might have caught him under the chin a little bit there, too. He's calling for clothesline, goes and nails him. Is he going to get the one? 1, 2... Only 2 count. I was going to say, is he going to get the 1, 2, 3, but they started counting before I could stop counting. Yeah. For the low clothesline, nails it. 1, 2, only 2 count. And Tenzon kicks out again. You're going to go for the brain buster. Definitely going for the brain buster. Is he going to hit it? He's got him, getting him up. Tenzon fighting out of it. Kind of thinking whoever hits the next big move is probably going to walk away with a victory here. Ooh, don't do that. Ah. Ah. No, that just makes my head hurt. I just wish they wouldn't do that. I know they're not really putting a lot of force into it, but this is, you know, all the things we've learned about concussions in the last few years in sports and repeated concussions and all the you know, all the things that it can cause down the line, brain damage and oh, Fire Thunder Driver, I believe that's called. 1, 2, oh, only 2 count. Wow, Ishii does not want to stay down, obviously, but he's not staying down. Tough dude. Anyway, you know all the things about concussions. I don't like to see those headbutts like that. He's calling for the moonsault again. Is he going to hit it this time? Ishii looks like he might have been trying to get up, but doesn't. Tenzon hits the moonsault. 1, 2, and 3. Tenzon gets the victory. Good for him. Nice hot start to the tournament. Good match. That's probably why they opened up with those two. Always going to be a solid match. Be interesting to see just how far Tenzon goes. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am already. That was a good one. Very solid. Alright, so let's talk about, while we're watching the celebration and waiting for the next match to kick off, let's talk about the blocks a little bit. We're watching the A block tournament, so let's start there. And I'll probably go ahead and wait till the B block kicks off and talk about some of the interesting things about that on the next one. So we've got Bad Luck Fale, Goto, Ishii, Makabe, a guy from Noah I've never seen before called Marufuji, Okada, Sanada, Tanahashi, Tenzon, and Tamatanga. So, honestly, I think some of the more interesting stuff is going to be in the B block, but we're still getting a very solid block A block here. When I say interesting, you know, it's just some of the stuff some of the matches that'll take place in B block are just have some interesting things going on, but we're still going to get plenty of interesting stuff in Block A. It's the first time Tamatonga's been in this tournament, so we're going to see him in singles action way more than we've ever seen before. First time we're really going to see Tamatonga do singles competition heavily, which is going to be very interesting. So pretty much all of his matches will be first-time matches for the most part, as far as singles matchups go. You know, if you're like me and you've never seen Marufuji, all of his matches are going to be things we've never seen before. Sonata has basically just been feuding with Okada and Yoshihashi, so other than Okada, all of his matches will be different. Stuff we haven't really seen before. And of course, seated in there, it's a pretty cool block, but it's just we've seen a lot of this before is really what I meant, and there's no big, ooh, those two are going to fight each other in the tournament. You know, there's nothing like that really. Except maybe that Sonata, as a member of Los Ingobernables, is going to be going head-to-head against Fale and Tama Tonga. Okay, that's really strange looking. Cool makeup, though. I am digging the makeup, but the weird crotch thing is a bit odd. Right there. That's... I don't know what the point of that is. Kind of surprised to see that I believe it is his brother, Tonga Roa. Kind of surprised he didn't make it into the tournament. That's what I was kind of hoping to see. I was hoping to see him go big, and you know, because they have Tonga Roha, they have Takahashi, who isn't in the tournament. So that's two more names they could have added in. Let's see, who else? You know, they could have brought in a couple of other outside guys. I'm sure that there's somebody else in, you know, Yoshitatsu could have been in it. There's three. And, you know, you don't really want Captain New Japan in there, but then you could have Kojima in there. You could have one of the larger junior heavyweights, because there's a couple of them I think could possibly pull it off. Or, again, you know, if you need that one extra guy from outside to come in, you could do it. So, Tama Tonga and Makabe. This is kind of a continuation of the tag team title feud. It wasn't much of a feud. They didn't really let it... That is my only real complaint with New Japan, is they don't really let feuds breathe a lot of time. But, you know, they have it's just a different style in Japan. Unfortunately, if they were really wanting to crack the American market, they would really have to do a bit more for storyline development and let things breathe a bit more and put some more drama on into the outside of the ring stuff, and then I don't know if the Japanese audiences would go for that. Oh! Tama Tonga trying a little bit of an ambush there, but Makabe did not fall for it, but he did fall for that. And he landed a little bit rough there on the apron. Looked like he might have nailed his hip a little bit. Not a good place to slam into something hard. Ooh! The side of the hip is where I'm talking about. He may have landed ass first, which is what you want to do, but it kind of looked like he slammed into it with the side of his hip. That's going to hurt. There, chest first into the guardrail. That's not going to be pleasant at any time. What the hell is he... Off the shoulders onto the guardrail. That's nice. There's another kind of a criticism I have of all of the so-called heels of NJPW is a lot of times they just do heel shit just to do it. It's a problem I have with heels in general these days, is that, you know, like you watch a Ric Flair match from back in the day, there's always a reason for it. You know, he didn't just start cheating right off the bat. he started cheating when he got into trouble, and he was sneaky as hell about it, and it worked the way he did it. You know, just immediately cheating right at the beginning of a match for no real reason, or during a match for no apparent reason. It's like if you're in control and you start cheating just to do it, I mean, there's no real psychology to that. It's just kind of dumb to me. Maybe you disagree. That's alright. I'm gonna hang him up and DDT. Oh! Neck breaker. Swinging neck breaker. Ouchie. And only a 2 count. I guess I should have counted there, but I wasn't expecting it to go to 3. See, this is what I like to see from Tama Tonga, is when he starts with the kind of the weird mannerisms and stuff. That's the stuff that gets you attention and gets people to like you, or to show interest in you. Just starting off with the cheating, you know, it doesn't serve a purpose. It doesn't accomplish anything other than make you look like a punk. Makabe wanting to thank you, sir, may I have another? Having any of it. That's not really what Tonga wants to be doing. And I do believe that Tama Tonga has kind of adopted the cutter as a move since Mr. Anderson took off. I'd like to see him using it more as a secondary finisher. I don't know why he'd want to adopt it as a primary. He had that really interesting kind of hooked DDT he was using as a finisher, where he, you know, it looked really good, using his entire body weight to drive the guy down. Throws Makabe off, jumps in, but gets caught. Nice suplex with a bridge. Is that a bruise or something on Makabe's shoulder, or does he actually have a tattoo? Interesting. You don't really see many Japanese people with tattoos because of the Yakuza stuff. I don't know if that's like a bruise or... And they're not from what I understand, they're not actually illegal. They're just frowned upon heavily. Maybe, I don't know, not really important at all. Makabe beating the crap out of Tama Tonga. Tonga doing a little bit of maneuvering there and hits a nice head scissor takedown. See, that's what he needs to do. Stick and move, stick and move. He does not want to try and get into who could beat the crap out of the other person the worst, kind of a fight with Makabe. Seeing some of the wars that Makabe and Ishii had against each other, that's just not a fight that Tama Tonga is gonna win. Makabe isn't the biggest, strongest guy in NJPW, but he's certainly one of the toughest. A nice off the shoulder. Looked like he was kind of going for a flapjack, but looked like he landed more on his shoulder. And Makabe has kind of been on the receiving end for most of this match here so far. See, that's all that's going to do is just piss him off. And the old Islander headbutt. Because for some reason, all Islanders have extraordinarily hard heads. And 1, 2, and 2 count only. Makabe gets out of it, and then just nailed him right in the back of the head. Tama Tonga doesn't go down to the clothesline. A little bit of back and forth here. See, I am not opposed to this happening at all because Tama Tonga definitely needs to establish some credibility for the tournament. Otherwise, he's just going to look like a little bitch the entire time. Nice Superman forearm there, and takes another clothesline, another forearm, another clothesline, and another forearm, another, oh, he ducks, but it eats the big clothesline. Only a 1 count. Takes another big forearm shot, only a 1 count. Nice little flurry of action there. Of course, that's why this is really interesting, because we've almost exclusively seen Tama Tonga in tag team action. He's had very few singles matches that I can remember seeing. You know, again, I've only really seen, I've been watching NJPW for a year now, but Tama Tonga almost exclusively, like I said, in tag matches. So it's going to be interesting to see him evolve through this and how he copes with doing all these singles matches. Getting ready for a high flying move of some kind here. No? Just standing over Makabe. Thank you, cameraman. That's really what I want to look at. You know, he's very slowly trying to get up on the turnbuckle. Makabe just pops up and grabs him. Considering that one of Makabe's finishers, or moves that he likes to use to finish guys off, is that spider German, and that's what he's going for. That's not a very smart thing to do. Oh! Head to post. Head to post. Tama Tonga is trying to fight. Is he going to be able to avoid it? I don't think he is. I think Makabe... I don't know. He's continuing to fight, and he... looks like he might have fought out of it. And then, what has he got? Oh, pops up, gets him. And, kind of a belly to belly. It's his face paint, that's what it is. And hits the dropping knee. And is that a 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. Kind of a disappointing first match for these two. But, kind of a clash of styles, maybe. I'm not sure. Just not a very, engaging match, I don't think. But we'll have to see how things progress for these guys. I really hope Tama Tonga can kind of, like I said, develop and show us some more through the tournament. Because my fear for him would be that if he can't do better than this, he's never going to get out of the tag team division. If he even wants to. he doesn't have to. I'm not saying, you know, tag team wrestling's cool, and if and some of the best matches I've ever seen have been tag team matches, and tag team match specialists. You know, it's its own thing within pro wrestling. He doesn't have to have success as a singles wrestler, but if he is hoping to, you know, kind of run the entire gamut spectrum of being a pro wrestler, then he's going to have to try to do better as a singles, and this one wasn't that good, in my opinion. It's just, you know, it didn't really engage. Not like the last one. That one, lots of back and forth action. Couldn't really tell who was going to win. This one, I mean, it just, I don't know, just seemed a little lackadaisical. Not a terrible match by any stretch, but just lacking. Oh well. It's only the first night. Plenty more stuff from these two to come. Of course, Makabe's been mainly competing in tag team matchups as well with Hanma lately, so could be a little bit of a singles action ring rust there at play. See who's up next. Bullet Club, so Goto and Fale, interesting, very interesting opening matchup for these two. Let me go ahead and jot down my notes here. So we got Tenzan and Ishii. Tenzan 1, and we've got Goto and Tamatanga. Goto 1. Sorry about that, I was just noting down who had won what match here. Because I got my little, you know, the cross-section thing for the Block A, and then I've got down their names so I can jot down who, you know, their wins. So, one for Makabe and one for Tenzan. And now we've got Goto coming out, who kind of joined Chaos as to make up the numbers for Nakamura leaving. I'd like to see Goto do well in this tournament. My feelings about Goto, I think he needs something to set himself apart a bit more. Just like there's something missing with him. I'm not sure what, though. Like Makabe and Ishii have kind of got their own big, tough, strong kind of stuff. You know, the big tough guy thing going on, and Shibata is his own version of that. It's, I don't know. Goto, I mean, he has a style, his own style and everything, and he's got a, you know, a ring style, and he started to adapt a bit more of, or not adapt, but adopt a style of kind of heavy usage of moves that, you know, the back of the head or the head into the knee. which is interesting. But again, it's just like he needs a bit of something else to him, I think. And Fale is just Fale. So this one could be quite interesting. Have to see how this goes. Haven't seen Fale doing much of anything lately, really. He appears in tag team matches here and there, but doesn't do a whole lot else that I've seen. He hasn't really been involved in any feuds. He was kind of having a bit of a feud with Toriano, and before that, well, roughly the same time period, Tanahashi off and on there for a while, and then he just kind of disappeared into the background. So, be interesting to see how he comes out in the tournament. That's one of the things I love about these tournaments is there's so many ways that things can go down. You get so many possible feuds that can happen and just so many different possibilities. Nice chain wrestling there. Ooh, nasty little tweak on the arm. I do like Fale. I'm not much of a fan of big man wrestlers, but I like it when they show that they can do more than just, oh, me big man gonna slam little man, ha ha ha. Fee, fi, fo, fum. You know, that gets old. But Fale, he can do some shit. I like to see that. Goto using a bit more of a ground game. Not focusing on the legs, though. Focusing on an arm. Interesting. Usually somebody going up against a bigger guy like Fale, they'll go after a leg. That's kind of the classic chop the big man down tactics. Interesting to see Goto going after an arm instead. But again, this is why I actually like Fale, is that, you don't have to spend 10 minutes every time he's in a match just to watch him get off his feet. They almost immediately, they're down on the mat and they're wrestling. This is the stuff you never get from that promotion. Actual pro wrestling. Going on that side, they're gonna whip into the barricade. Ouch. One of these days that damn gate is just gonna flip back and smack the fuck out of somebody. Yes, I cuss, get over it. Boo hoo hoo hoo. I'm just being facetious. Ooh, gonna do it again. And right into the gate, or the barricade there. Nice bit of... And see, he's selling the moves. Yeah, I know I'm breaking kayfabe there a little bit, but I can't help it. I'm kind of a connoisseur of the way they work in the ring. And it's just, when I see something that I really like, I want to talk about it, Selling moves. They, like, that's the problem with so many pro wrestlers. They don't realize that what they're doing in the ring is telling a story. You know what I mean? It's a story. It's a form of storytelling. And the story you're telling is that of a competition, a fight between 2 people, or 4 people, or whatever, 6 people, 8 people. 10 people, however many people, it's a fight. And if you don't act like you're getting hurt, you're not selling your moves, then you're breaking disbelief, the suspension of disbelief. We know it's a show, but just like when you're watching a movie and something dumb happens that breaks you out, and it's like, oh, you know, that's why it's like Hugo Weaving, an actor. When I was watching Lord of the Rings for the first time, the first one, it never even crossed my mind that that was the same guy that played the agent in The Matrix. It never even crossed my damn mind. Because he is a great actor, because he is an actor that makes you forget that it's even him. That's what I love, actors that can do that make you see the character instead of the actor. And that's what a great pro wrestler does too. They make you see a fight, and even when it's a show, you see a fight. You get what I'm saying? Fale misses the avalanche. Does not go down to the clothesline. Goto nails him though. Gonna try again and nails him again. But takes a big knee and drops him. Nice big clothesline there. I do like when Goto, well, others do it too, but the whole fake out thing, run into the same rope as the guy that you're gonna hit. Goto nails the kick in the corner, throws him out. And hits a big elbow. Kind of a variation on Kojima there, I think. Get a hold of him. He's trying to get him up. He almost got him there. Fale. And that time he hits it. Didn't have enough time to build up a whole lot of momentum, though. Ooh, huge splash. 1, 2, and 2 count only. Very close on the 3, though. This has been a pretty good match so far. I'm sorry I went off on that tangent. Well, I'm not really sorry, but I did kind of get off topic there. Gonna go for the spike, maybe. Sizing him up for something. Got him. And hits the spike. 1, 2... Only a 2 count. But, you know, like I said, when I see something I like to talk about it. If I see something that pisses me off, I talk about it too. These guys you don't see much, you know, they never really piss me off. They don't, you know, they're good. Gonna go for the bad luck fall. Goto gets out of it. Never been a fan of that move. Oh, headbutt to the chin. It's the big kick. See, I think that's part of the problem with Goto is sometimes he'll use kicks, sometimes he uses you know, slams. I mean, he's very versatile. Oh, going for a head sleeper there. But I suppose that maybe that's really what he needs to build on, is kind of do like Styles used to, where he could adapt to just about anybody, and what they were doing he could adapt and change his game up to fit what they were doing and counter it. Because just with Goto, you know, it's like sometimes like I was saying, sometimes he kicks people, sometimes he slams them, sometimes he does submission stuff like this. Right now he's going to go for the knee, onto the knee. And he hits it. Is he going to get the 1, 2, 3 here? 1, 2, and 3, and he got him. Goto gets the win. But you know, it's I like the fact that he's starting to use the moves onto the knee. It's something that he can really use that as kind of a cohesive element something to tie his overall style together. But again, I like Goto. It's just, to me, it's like I said, it seems like there's something missing from his persona, how he the whole thing. I liked when he came out with a makeup. That was different and interesting. I mean, is he trying to do kind of the I know he incorporates some of the stuff from Shinsei Shinzaki, or Jinsei Shinzaki, I should say. But it's like it's just like there's something lacking, an overall cohesive element to tie it all together. It's like Nakamura, perfect example, mainly used kicks, but he could do it all. But his kicks, he used a lot of the kicks and the knees, and then of course just his overall persona and style was just the glue that brought it all together. Goto he needs to find the glue. That overall thing, I think. Like Fale, he's got that, just in who he is. He's a big dude, but then he can also do stuff, which makes him interesting and different. Unique. Not unique. There's other big guys that can actually go, but there's not many. Ooh, Sonata and Tanahashi. Yeah, very interesting. I have to say, we have not seen these two go up against each other before. Of course, like I said, I haven't seen Sonata go up against anybody except Okada in the A block before, so all of his matches are going to be pretty fresh. And that means that it's going to be Okada and Marufuji. And if I remember correctly, I was reading up on them, and Marufuji is a big name with Noah. I think he's actually one of the head honchos there. So, I'm not sure about his position with championships or anything, but if he's really one of the big names of Noah, that's a very interesting first round matchup. Putting those two together right off the bat, that's interesting. Sonata, so far, not all that impressed. I get kind of the same feeling that I have about Goto. It's like he's not bad by any stretch. I mean, he's thorough, he's clean. His style is pretty clean. He's good. It's just, again, just the whole cold skull thing. And like Evil, who is in the B block, he's finally starting to get a little bit of personality other than just, oh, I'm evil because they say I'm evil. This guy hasn't gotten there yet. Bushi was good right from the start. I mean, I'm not sure what he was doing before he started being the bad guy, because I didn't see him in the promotion before he joined Los Ingobernables, but he took to it without any difficulties whatsoever. Evil finally starting to show a little bit of personality and things coming together. I think this might be the first time Tanahashi's had a match since he took some time off for an injury, if memory serves, so this is interesting. A lot of I guess this one is an interesting match for a number of reasons. Tanahashi mainly been feuding with Kenny Omega and Bullet Club. Now he's going to be starting off the tournament by facing off against somebody in Los Ingobernables. I do like Tanahashi. Not really my style, all that. He's kind of like a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart hybrid. But I do like his stuff. I guess the wrestlers I tend to like are the ones that you could call characters. Not necessarily big personalities, but individuals, I guess you could say, Tanahashi is classic white meat babyface. Although I guess in this case, yellow meat babyface. I don't mean anything by that, it's just there. I had to use it. But I don't dislike him by any stretch. I know that there's some people that they only like heels or whatever. It's not so much that for me. I like Naito. I really like what Naito's been doing since I started watching last year. Nakamura, I miss him. I like Bushi and Toru Yano and Kenny Omega. I like him when he's not doing stupid cheating stuff. When he's just cheating to cheat, it's irritating. Shibata I like because he's got a very understated personality rather than over the top. You know, a lot of the older stars, Nagata and Tenzan and Kojima, I like all of them because they're classic. You know, even though I didn't really watch NJPW before last year, it's like I see those guys and it's like I immediately know where they're coming from as pro wrestlers. See some chain wrestling there. Tanahashi looking good. I'm glad he took some time off, because he was looking kind of rough there for a few months. Like every time he came out, he had something wrapped up. Just looking kind of worn out. Oh, come on, Sonata. Don't tell me you're already gassed out. For fuck's sake. Okay. He was breathing a little bit hard when he was first getting up. I was going like, oh, come on, dude. You can't be gassed out already. Good grief. I'm overweight and I wouldn't have gotten gassed out that fast. Like, if you're getting that tired that quickly, you need to go to a doctor. That would have me worried, actually, if I saw somebody get that out of breath that quickly. I'd be like, shit, dude, go to the hospital. Something's wrong. Tanahashi's looking good. He really is. I'm glad to see it. Looks like he's managed to heal up, freshen up a bit. Doesn't have the tired look that he had there for a while. Like he was just, like I said, he looked worn out. Nice reversal into the classic arm drag, headlock takeover. That, you know, and when I say that, you know, a wrestler isn't really my style, I'm largely talking about their personalities more than a lot of the time. Tanahashi's ring work is impeccable. Very rarely see him make a mistake or, you know, not have a good match. In fact, the year I've been watching, the matches I've seen, I don't think I've seen him have a single bad match, and he's not even in his prime anymore. So I can see how he has become the star that he has. Easily see it. And he definitely does have a personality. I like it when he starts getting irritated. That's when he becomes the most fun to watch for me. When he starts getting irritated with somebody and gets a little bit rough, and we're probably going to be seeing it now because Sonata crossed the line. That's when he starts really getting interesting to me. It's not that I don't like, classic baby faces. It's just I like it when they're not afraid to get a little bit nasty with people when somebody gets nasty with them. Drop toe hold onto the guardrail. Ow. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. What are you going to do with that arm? He is going to try and fuck it up. Ouch. Just kicking him right in the arm on the guardrail. Ah, there's Red Shoes. The ref. If you haven't watched NJPW before, I hadn't even thought about that. Sorry. I'll try to be better about that from now on. Try and be a little more thorough. So if you haven't watched NJPW before, if this is your first time, or you don't know who all these guys are, I've talked up about quite a few of the guys so far. I've tried to talk them up and talk about why I like them. Tanahashi, for the last decade, I want to say, again, I've only been watching NJPW for about a year, so I'm not an expert. But I want to say it was about a decade ago or more. Basically the early 2000s, NJPW wasn't doing that well. They were having a lot of trouble. And Tanahashi came along and grew the promotion to what it is now. Largely. You also have some major names in like Nagata, who will be seen in the next, who's in the B block. We saw Tenzan earlier, and Kojima came out with Tenzan. Those are all guys that also largely contributed to that, but it was really under Tanahashi here is how NJPW started rising up from where it had gotten to. And then of course in the early 2000s all pro wrestling was kind of in a slump. Here in the States, that company had bought out its competition and they were getting incredibly lazy. They're continuing to be incredibly lazy, in my opinion. But pro wrestling in general was just kind of on a downslide at the time, and for NJPW, Tanahashi was the guy that took him out of it and helped him rise again, as it were. So that's who he is. I wouldn't say he's on his way out, not really, but because he's still plenty young enough to have a lot of good matches left in him. I bet he could even have a really good heavyweight title run still. But currently the main guy in the company is Okada, who will be seen in the main event, I think. Well, I know, because Okada and Marufuji, as I was saying earlier, are the two that are left. Nice uppercut. So these two are just kind of going at it here. Nothing significant. Nice flying forearm, though. So far, Sonata doing pretty good. Like I was saying at the start, though, my feelings towards him are similar to Goto. And even Evil, who, if you're not familiar, Los Ingobernables is a stable that got started last year during the G1 tournament. Nice flipping senton. Only a 2 count. It's Naito, who is in B block, was in Mexico and joined up with this heel group, bad guy group. And it's Los Ingobernables, which means the Ungovernables. And it was really interesting to watch him in the tournament. Just some of the stuff that he would do, it was just really interesting. And he was on his own at that point, and then the last year they've added 3 more members. Sonata, who's in the match now, Bushi, who is a junior heavyweight, and Evil, who is also in the B block. And it's also been interesting because Naito has had one hell of a rise in the last year. I mean, he actually just recently lost the heavyweight title after holding it for a couple of months. I would have liked to have seen him hold on to the title through the tournament, at least, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. I guess they decided that him chasing the title was more money than him holding it. I don't know. High fly flow. Splash to the floor. It's not. That's not a splash. It's a crossbody. High fly flow crossbody to the floor. It's a frog splash that he uses. He calls it the high fly flow. Guess you could say he's a mix of Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, babyface Eddie Guerrero, and Bret Hart. Tanahashi is. Just some of the things he does. He's definitely got his own personality. I'm not saying he's a direct rip-off. Unlike Yoshitatsu, who is a little too obvious. If you've seen him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, and you're watching these for the first time, well, he was in a match earlier, so you should have seen him. If you're watching this, but and Tanahashi going after the leg. He likes to use that as an alternative focus for his attacks. He likes going after the legs. Likes to use the leg whips, variations, and he uses this cloverleaf variant with a high... he's just got a classic cloverleaf in there. Normally he kind of uses a Walls of Jericho kind of variation on it where he uses a real high... There he goes. Nope, he's there. Gets real high and bends back. Puts a lot of pressure on the spine. Seen him do it to where he actually gets people on damn near standing on their heads with it. Nasty. This is the Tanahashi I like to watch. When he's just getting a little bit of that attitude. Badly cauliflowered ears there. Staying on that knee. Sonata fighting through, hits the... I don't know if he has a name for that. The flipping out of the ring and then the springboard drop kick. Damn. Mouth no want work today. Ha. Both men kind of slow getting to their feet here. Both taking some punishment. Sonata first to engage. Tanahashi having none of it. I'm definitely interested to see what else Sonata can do. You know, I keep touching on it, but like he doesn't quite have that. Like I was saying about Goto. Goto, I still think, needs some sort of a cohesive element to tie his everything about him together a little bit stronger. And Sonata, it's just, I guess it's just something about him, you know, kind of the impression that they just got a Halloween mask and some black clothes and stuck it on him just to make him fit in with Los Ingobernables, and other than that, he's just there. You know, that's, to me, that's the number one sin in pro wrestling, is if you're just there. You don't have to be a good guy or bad guy or a tweener or an anti-hero, or, you know, I don't really care about any of that shit anymore. It's just personality. Nice flapjack cutter. 1, 2, only 2 count. Yeah, for me, it's all about having a lot of good impersonality in and out of ring. Tanahashi gets out of it. Nice chain wrestling there. Sonata gets him down, has it locked in with a grapevine. Are we actually going to see Tanahashi tap out on his very first match back? I think this is his first match back. He's going to pass out. We got an arm down, 1, 2. Has he gone out? No, we're going to get an old school Hulk up here. I will not be defeated. Not like this. Hey, watch that boot. Get it out of there, Sonata. That ain't nice. Alrighty. Slams him down. Gonna go for good old moonsault. Lands on his feet after taking all the punishment on his legs earlier. Not necessarily a good idea. Roll up. Gets him, and going for the headlock again. Tanahashi gets him out of it. Rolling neck breaker. It's a man. My blanking on the move's name. It's only a 2 count. I can't remember the name of the move. Going for dragon suplex, maybe. Looks like so that's what he's going for here. He's got the full Nelson locked in. Nope. Capture suplex, capture German maybe. And hits it with a full bridge. 1, 2, and only 2 count. If you know a different name for that, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I've always known that as a capture German suplex, because you lock the arms, but it's not a straight jacket or one of the other variations. Oh, goes for a high fly flow and gets caught with a cutter. 1, 2, dos only. 2 count only. Haha. Slant him in. Gonna go for that moonsault again. Maybe. Hit it. Pardon me. 1, 2, and... ooh, kick out. Gonna go for it again. And hits it again. Doesn't go for a pin. That's kind of odd, but does get him down again We're actually going to see Tanahashi. Are we going to see Tanahashi tap out in his very first match back? I would not have thought that would happen. And he's tapped. Tanahashi tapped. Holy shit. Sonata picks up a win. Wow. That is certainly interesting. Wow. Interesting indeed. Tanahashi being assisted out of the ring to the back. Took quite a beating to put him down, but he did end up going down in the end. And he carries a bat. Sonata, you know, I know I keep going back to it, but, you know, the mask, the bat, why? What's the point? Maybe it's just that maybe there's a backstory there that I'm just not aware of because of language barrier, but again, it's like, well, we'll give him the bat like Sting used to carry and then put a skull mask on him and have him wear black leather stuff. You know? Just a little bit odd. You know, I kind of harping on it, I guess. But, you know, there's just a few things about certain you know, a few things in pro wrestling that do irritate me, even when it's being done really well, like NJPW does. Like with pro wrestlers, I mean, it's not necessarily that it annoys me, just with pro wrestlers, I like to see them have personality and, you know, again, something that just ties everything together. And some are better at it than others. Sometimes it's just they need to find that thing that ties it all together. So, Okada and Marufuji from Noah. I've never seen Marufuji before. I said that earlier, say it again. I've never seen him before, so complete unknown commodity for me. Be interesting to see him for the first time. Oh, so he's got a title. GHC, so GHC seems to be the Noah titles. Okay, interesting. So is he their heavyweight champion, perhaps? Or he's certainly got one of their titles. Interesting look to him. Similar color scheme to the Chaos faction. More emphasis on the black, though. See, I already like this guy. I can tell he's got style. Sometimes it's just little touches, like William Regal's little thing where he wipes his feet before he gets in the ring. It's just, I love things like that. Just those little bits of personality. I just love that stuff. And of course, William Regal's facial expressions are absolutely priceless. You cannot, you know, when it comes to facial expressions, you can't do better, really. Very few. And now the Rainmaker, Okada. Yeah, Okada's not really one of my favorites. I guess with him, it's more like he feels like he's kind of a manufactured persona rather than something that's really him. I don't know, just kind of get that vibe. Ring work is excellent, though. Absolutely nothing wrong with his ring work. Just the way over the top bling thing is just a little bit silly to me. Maybe it has some significance in Japan that I'm not aware of. I don't know. Cool outfits, though. And that is one hell of a coat. If you're wondering about some of these pauses, it's because I have to have my microphone kind of close to the screen, and I'm getting a bit of a headache at the moment, so I'm kind of backing off from the screen now and again to try and rest my eyes a little. Sorry about that. It's not that bad, but sometimes with the, like with his coat right now, all those colors flashing around in the lights, glinting off everything, it just eye strain crap. I'm going to have to do something about this microphone setup I've got. Or maybe I can just move the damn screen and stop being an idiot. Facepalm. Alright. So I think this one's going to be damn good. I get a feeling that we're going to see one hell of a match here. You know, like Okada, you know, what I was saying about him, I don't have anything against him at all. It's just the whole... his persona just doesn't really do much anything for me and doesn't really seem like there's a lot to it. But when he really gets going in the ring, that's when he shines. That's when you really see Okada. When he, you know, the perseverance and, you know, fighting his way through no matter what. That's Okada. Nice Lucha Libre style escape there. Okada wrenching the arm, locking, goes for the headlock. So it looks like Marufuji may be maybe a junior heavyweight that's weighted up to heavyweight. I'm just not sure about him. I like what I see so far. I've already seen some of those little touches of personality that I really like from him. So, nice split jump there. Okada doing the same. Gets caught. Ooh. Some kick attempts there. See, that's what I like. I like when Okada you know, like I said, shows a little bit more emotion. He gets a little bit snarky and smiles. That's the Okada I like to watch. Kind of the same with Tanahashi when he gets a little bit of an attitude. That's when he really shines through for me. And I do like that. Ooh, kick to the gut. Stops him cold. Snapmare takeover, runs through, and The dude just sits there and waits for it. Those sorts of things do irritate me. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm not sorry. I've always said that never say you're sorry when you know, for anything that you're not really sorry for. If you were actually sorry, you wouldn't do it. My philosophy, and I'm not sorry that that annoys me. It's just a Snapmare is a bad setup for something like that, because there's no reason for him to sit there that long and just wait for it. You know what I mean? Just kind of irritating. Nice chin lock. Digging into the knee. And immediately releases. And you're probably thinking, if you've stuck through all the way, that yes, my commentary style is a bit odd, since I do tend to flip back and forth between critiquing and just commentating. That's just what I do. But anyone can do play-by-play. All you have to do is learn the names of moves well enough and just say what they're doing. Ooh, nasty. And then just talk about them a little bit here and there. That stuff's pretty easy. And I'm not being paid to talk them up and make them out like they're fucking He-Man or something. I'm just doing this because why not? Because I enjoy it. And if you don't have access to any other English commentary, or, you know, you'd rather have something to listen to in English rather than commentary you don't understand, I'm better than nothing, I suppose. I don't know. Making excuses for myself when I don't really need to. I do things my way because I feel like it. So Marufuji going after the arm here. Could be... Ooh! Dude plays rough. Not sure how I feel about that. That's wandering into cheating just for the sake of cheating territory. But he is cheating with a purpose. He's targeting the arm. So, a little bit more forgivable. So, that'd be a strategy just for the match. Possibly a strategy for the rest of the tournament. If he can injure the arm now, then everybody else that Okada goes up against is going to be targeting that arm. And of course, his finisher, the Rainmaker clothesline, I'm pretty sure that's his... Let's see here. No, I think that's the arm that he uses to pull them. Because if you've never seen him before, the Rainmaker is a waist lock. He gets a hold of the arm, spins him around, and then yanks him in for a short arm clothesline. And I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to visualize which arm he uses for doing what. That could be his striking arm, because it's been focusing on the right arm. I'm trying to think, does he use the right arm to do the clothesline or to pull them in? Ooh, hard chop. I think he uses the right arm for the clothesline, so that means that if he can injure that arm now, every single time Okada goes for that Rainmaker, he's going to be hurting himself to try and hit his finisher. Not a bad strategy at all, either for the match or possibly to reduce his chances of winning through the tournament. Oh, vicious chops. Damn, he is just laying into him. So, yeah, this dude has a bit of a vicious streak. Damn, just short elbows there. Surf's up, dude. That's what it looked like he was doing. Big flying elbow. He's got a reversal there, and huge body drop. Damn. Look at the bruising on his chest. Holy shit. Oh, ow, wow. Damn. That is rough. Hitting some back elbows there, knocking him down, getting some momentum. Marufuji gonna reverse, but eats another big elbow. Okada feeling the pain. So I've liked what I've seen from Marufuji so far. Need to see some more of his work. I think nice DDT and a kip up. Haven't really seen, you know, like I was talking about Goto, that kind of cohesive element that ties everything together. Marufuji, haven't really seen that from him yet, but it's the first time I've ever seen him at all, so could just be maybe his viciousness, having a really solid, or nasty, vicious streak. That could be his thing. Kind of rolls out of it. Nails the big clothesline, does Marufuji. Takes Okada down. I'd say that Marufuji has been getting the better of this match so far. He has taken some punishment, but Okada has definitely been on the receiving end more. I'm pretty damn sure. Oh, fuck. And right back to that arm. Good grief, look at Okada's chest. So, yeah, I'm kind of getting that vibe from Marufuji that's kind of his thing, is just kind of just that vicious streak. I like it. It's you see wrestlers that, are a bit nasty, but that are really kind of vicious like this. You don't see that a whole lot, so. Oh! He's kind of focusing on the other arm now a little bit more, but still putting some punishment on the original arm. Yeah, definitely gonna make it hard to do that Rainmaker. If Okada's arms are all messed up, then he's not gonna be able to hit that move very well. And he does suffer from finisher fixation. Ow! Saw Kushida do that not that long ago. That is nasty. We have seen lately a Kushida. Again, if you're not familiar with NJPW as much, Kushida is the junior heavyweight champion. He also, of late, has been developing a bit of a nasty streak. And, this guy reminds me of him a bit. That could be the other way around. Kushida could have adopted that from him. Interesting submission hold here. Has the arm and has also got a hold of one leg. Good body control. Okada managing to get to a rope there. Nice shot, camera guy. Or lady, whichever. Oh, damn. An uppercut to the arm. Yeah, I've got to say this guy's got one hell of a vicious streak. I know I see you. Damn. Flapjack. And again, if you're not familiar with NJPW, if you haven't watched very much, if this is the first time you've watched, because you've heard about the tournament, maybe you see the I think that's a lady. No offense to the lady. There's definitely a guy on the other side. They use microphones in the ring. No calling out moves and shit here. Well, if they do, they're very subtle about it, but they mic the ring so you can hear all the impacts and stuff. Which, I like it. It really gives a immediacy to it in a way. Maybe that's not quite the right word, but really kind of lets you feel it, hear it. That extra sensory experience adds a lot to it, I think. Okada standing up to the guy, but he's worse for wear. Damn chops, good grief. Interesting. That was quite interesting. Not sure what else to say about it. Gonna go flying. Simple but effective. Don't want to get yourself jacked up the first match of a tournament by doing something crazy. So definitely some Lucha Libre influence here. Puts the brakes on, stops. Oh! Kinda trying to get in the ring, eats a flying dropkick. Springboard flying dropkick there. Hits low too, damn. So not only is he vicious, he's cunning. Not sure what he's going for. Probably a finisher. Kinda catches him. I do not know exactly what that's called, but it's kind of a kryptonite crunch to the knee. That's my familiarity with that setup is from Nova and ECW, the kryptonite crunch. Onto the knee is the execution. So that's what I'm going to go with. Going up, likes to use a big flying elbow and hits it. And hurts himself to do it. This is definitely a good strategy going after the arms of Okada, because a lot of his offense is arm-based. Damn near all of it. Look at his chest. Damn. There he is. He's going for it. And Marufuji getting out of it. Ooh, big knee. Big uppercut. Runs in, gets kicked again, gets kicked again. Going up and gets hung up. Takes a drop kick to the back. Okada does have a very nice drop kick. Not sure if it's quite as good as Lance Storm, who has, because he doesn't really wrestle much anymore, probably the best drop kick I've ever seen. Some kicks there, and there it is. If you had to make a list of top 5 drop kicks, Okada and Lance Storm would be up there. I'm not really sure who would beat who, though. Going for it, and gets caught. This is a setup Okada likes to use. German into it, and go. And damn knee and kicks. This guy really likes to pull some things out of his ass. Big knee to the face. So that's interesting. He kind of works the whole body. He definitely likes to use kicks and stuff, though. Trying to tie him up for... Ooh. Don't know what that is. 1, 2, 3. And Okada loses. Wow. Alright, so they are definitely kicking things off with a bang here. Tanahashi loses, Okada loses. Their first matches of the tournament. Both of them. Wow. And Okada's chest looks like he's just been slapped to fucking hell. Good grief. So that was like a fisherman's setup, a fisherman's buster setup, and then almost into like a... Oh, damn, that was an interesting move. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before. Well, obviously I've seen moves like it, just never seen that particular combination of setup and execution. So, wow. That's major. Okada loses the first match. Wow. So much for the A block being a bit boring compared to the B block. I didn't really mean it was going to be boring, but they certainly kick things off with a bang. That's major right there. Even if the dude doesn't win the tournament, he certainly deserves a title shot. Damn. Alright, so we're going to get some yakety yak. I'm going to go ahead and leave things here. And for the future commentaries, I'll probably try a bit harder to stick to just straight up wrestling commentary. But again, if I see something I really like or really irritates me, I tend to talk about it. That's just what I do. So we'll see you on the next one. Let me go ahead and bring up the schedule here so you can see what the tournament matches are going to be on the 22nd. And again, I'm not sure when I'll get it my commentary up for that, but I'll do my best to get it up ASAP. So B block's first matches, we're going to go with Yoshihashi and Omega. It'd be interesting. Toru Yano going against another guy from Noah called Nakajima. Michael Elgin versus Evil. Shibata versus Hanma. They just had a match for the Never Openweight title, and Hanma lost. So these two are having an immediate rematch, basically, because if Hanma can win the match, he can make a case for having another title shot. That's interesting. And Nagata versus Naito. So I'd say the interesting matchups there will probably... Well, all of them have some potential. Elgin versus Evil could be interesting. Shibata and Hanma will definitely be a smash mouth match. Nagata and Naito, be interesting to see how Naito handles himself after losing the title. What kind of mindset he'll be in, what he's going to do. I'm interested to see Nakajima in action. What I've read about him, his style is similar to Shibata. Real kick-heavy style. Marufuji also used a lot of kicks. And, that dude has a vicious streak on him. I keep saying it, but damn, those chops he was using, fuck. So, could be some interesting stuff. I'm not sure about seeing him for the Nakajima in B block for the first time against Toriyano. Now, Toriyano, he's actually got the tag team titles currently. He's one half of the tag team champions, I think, with Marufuji, as a matter of fact. So that's the title that Marufuji was holding. He's currently tag team champion with Toriyano. Toriyano is an NJPW wrestler, not a Noah wrestler, but he's kind of a comedy wrestler in a lot of ways. Kind of an amusing cheater, like the cheeky rascal type of cheater wrestler. Kind of a funny, cheating kind of wrestler if you've never watched him before. And so not the ideal first match for Nakajima for him to show off, but I'm sure we'll see something interesting there, hopefully. And the other ones don't look too bad. Omega and Yoshihashi could be interesting. Michael Elgin and Evil, I think, will be a good match. Hanma and Shibata, definitely going to be a good match. Nagata and Naito, be interesting to see how that goes down. So B block looks like it'll be interesting. So thanks for listening to the commentary. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you didn't care for my commentary, don't let that reflect badly on NJPW if you're a first-time watcher. Like I said, I do the commentary my own way based on the things that I feel like talking about. So, enjoy NJPW for the wrestling. If you like my commentary, thanks for listening. But if you did, like I said, if you didn't enjoy my commentary, it's not your cup of tea, don't let that reflect on NJPW. There are a handful of people that, maybe one or two others that also do English commentaries for these things because it's time consuming. Not a lot of people are willing to spend the time to do it. So go out there and see if you can find other English commentary that you might enjoy more. Or just enjoy the shows for what they are, even without English commentary. Just, look up information about what's going on and then enjoy the shows. So, yeah, I guess that covers everything. Come to my YouTube channel. If that isn't where you've got this commentary from, you can find me on YouTube as... what's a good video for you to look up? I have an e-fed on YouTube called AZW. It's not affiliated. I think there is actually an AZW promotion in like Hawaii or something that I did not find online before I started using the name, but it's my thing is an e-fed. I use a video game to do matches, so you can find my channel there. I also have a line of t-shirts on Zazzle called Ann Snarkist. That's Ann Snarkist on Zazzle. And I produce music under the name Acid Hits. You can find my music at selfie.com/acidheads if you're interested in checking any of that stuff out. And of course, I'll be doing more of these commentaries. So that's me hyping up, or not hyping, but promoting my own crap here at the end. And that covers everything, so I'll see you on the next one. Bye, bye-bye.